Greetings, magical people. It's Afira here, and today's episode of the Alchemy of Affluence podcast is going to be a little story, a short one, the short version we'll say, about how I rediscovered the Wheel of the Year in the craziness of 2020. Long story short, I have been studying and practicing how to film with a cat. Sorry about that. For many years now, I have been filming. Now he's making noise with his cat food can. I have been practicing and exploring the arts of all of the magics and all of the self-development modalities for many years now, and even though that's been really amazing because it's really and truly one of my biggest passions, it's also easy to get kind of thrown off of just listening to your own intuition when you're listening to all of these different ideas coming from different places. And one of the times when things got a little off kilter with that was in 2020, when I actually just kind of got sick and tired of being in a pattern like that, and I decided to return to the simplicity of just observing the seasons, because in a world of uncertainty, as we were calling it at the time, I needed something that I knew I could depend on. And the one thing that I knew would soothe, calm, relax me, and give me a sense of consistency and stability was just simply choosing to take notice of the changing of the seasons and allow myself to process my emotions while observing them, whatever that would end up looking like. And so this is the story of how that actually put me on a new and exciting path of rediscovering my purpose as an artist, as a witch, and as a mentor. So I hope that this inspires you to explore what working with the seasons can do for you as we are evolving into this next chapter of our lives in 2021. So this episode is a story about how I hit rock bottom with trying to process way too many different spiritual and personal development modalities at the same time a couple of years ago, and finally just hitting a wall and realizing that I needed to come back to the simplicity and the comfort of just observing the seasons and letting myself process my emotions through the themes of those seasons, which of course is what gave birth to the Your Book of Seasons program. So I hope that this inspires you. Without further ado, let's make some magic. So, what is magic really? Spoiler alert, it isn't always formal rituals around a cauldron or aesthetic photo shoots in the woods, although there are certainly places and times for that. For me, 90% of the time, my most powerful magic takes place in the form of self-reflection that accumulates into dramatic life transformations. Ever since I was a little girl, I loved writing down my thoughts about myself and my observations of the world, and then looking back to see how I've grown and changed over the course of a year, or in what ways I had stayed the same. One thing that's always stayed true for me is that I always relate to the changing seasons in similar ways each year, and use their cycle to guide my life somehow, regardless of what wildly different things might be happening in my life from one year to the next. And of course, after discovering the Wheel of the Year on my witchy path, the combination of celebrating the seasons, journaling, and manifesting have become some of the cornerstones of my life, my spiritual practice, and my career. But I have to admit, even though this wisdom has been with me for quite a long time now, I haven't always been a master of it. There have been times, I'm particularly thinking right now about late 2019 through early 2020, the most recent time when I was out of alignment, when I had gotten shiny object syndrome and I tried to do all of the magic and manifesting modalities, and I straight up got depressed and fell off the path. During years like that, I was burnt out from a lot of doing both, and I felt like there was a total rock bottom where absolutely nothing seemed to be going my way. I was taking all the magic, personal development, manifestation, and boss babe courses for my business that I could possibly find, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me why I wasn't getting the desired results. I felt totally unsupported by the universe and out of place in the world. I was so busy trying to do all the things that I no longer was even giving myself permission to just simply be. I felt like I had lost sight of who I was or what was even good for me, and something had to change immediately. Only I already tried everything to fix myself, right? Wrong. The thing is, I had tried everything to quote-unquote fix myself except for just being me. And what really did being me entail anyway? To discover that, I had to ask myself, what would little girl Fura want to be doing that could actually help me reconnect with my true self, my core values, and my core desired feelings? Well, duh, observing the seasons and using my journal as a place of free expression. Over those past years of adulting super hard, my practice had become a dry pattern of listening to other people's influence on what was supposed to be manifesting and consuming as much content as possible on how to be quote-unquote successful. And my journal had turned into a place to just do homework and make lists and repeat affirmations to myself the same way every morning. All of this was a valuable experience that has contributed to my overall wisdom, but it had all become a chore, and something was clearly missing. So, last summer in crazy old 2020, I finally hit a wall and gave myself permission to play again, turning to the one thing that I did feel was consistently inspiring and supportive at the time: the nature of the seasons. I began growing a garden on my urban patio and journaling out there every day while observing what nature could be found in this less than quote-unquote perfect environment. I journaled through the fear, through the uncertainty, through the noise of a world in pandemic and civil unrest, overlooking tons of tightly packed apartments and 4 lanes of traffic, by the way, and through the noise of my own traumatized ego. And slowly but surely, the moments of peace, serenity, and gnosis stopped being so few and far between, and I started to remember who I really was underneath all the conditioning. I started to be inspired again. I found myself truly able to lean into the uncertainty of the world by becoming more certain of myself. And I made a game out of letting anything and everything that wasn't truly me fall away, creating space for new possibilities. I stopped trying to do all the things correctly and started trusting myself to just do them authentically instead. And before my eyes, my entire view of reality changed, bringing in rapid and miraculous material manifestations as well. It was like the scattered puzzle pieces of my life and work finally clicked into place just in the natural course of journaling with prompts from the seasons. And it hit me that this always was my true calling and my true work in the world, wasn't it? Making the seasonal self-reflection practice accessible to all in a simplified, non-dogmatic way. I went back into my old coaching content from the School of Seasonal Secrets program that I had taught years prior, and I started doing the same prompts again myself, updating the page designs and adding them to fun, beautiful junk journals. And my new program, Your Book of Seasons, was born. Simply returning to seasonal journaling with the fun twist of playfulness has completely shifted me from rock bottom to super aligned with my vision for a better world, and I want to let this magic benefit more people. That's why I'm inviting you to join me on this journey. Want to know more? Go to writingwitch.com and click on courses for full details and how to join. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you next time. Until then, stay magical. Blessed be. I hope that you found that inspiring and that you consider joining me for your Book of Seasons. And just so you know, you can either join the entire program or you can just grab the journal pages for the season at hand. If you do want to catch more of this seasonal manifesting and personal development magic, check out one of these videos right here and make sure that you subscribe, because as I mentioned, I am going to be doing a lot more things like this over the summer. Thank you so much for being the magical person that you are, and until next time, blessed be.